Welcome in. My name's Ryan. I'll be your pilot. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you here. Boys and girls, I want to talk a little bit about Robert Saleh's press conference today. He was asked a few questions regarding the offensive line and Mekhi Becton and Duane Brown and what could possibly happen when Duane Brown returns. The question that was asked, does Mekhi have the ability to move back to right tackle if need be? So let's listen to Coach's response and talk about it on the other side.
I think so. I think Mekhi will be good right, left, guard. I mean, he's that type of talent. Never know. No, but Mekhi's a freakish athlete, and I think as he continues to evolve his career, obviously you'd love for him to be a left tackle, but where we are at right now, we've just got to make sure the best five are on the field somehow, some way to protect the quarterback and give him some time.
So Mekhi Becton is a freakish athlete. Could he move back left tackle, right tackle, guard possibly? I don't see guard in his future, but it sounds a whole heck of a lot like Robert Saleh is planning to move Mekhi Becton back over to the right-hand side because Duane Brown has spent 20 years over at the left-hand side. We've seen reports both from Rich Cimini and Connor Hughes that are implying the same exact thing. He's not moving over to the right-hand side, meaning Duane Brown. So Duane Brown, when he comes back, is going to be playing left tackle. Mekhi Becton likely playing right tackle to get the best five offensive linemen out on the field. There was another clip that I didn't have saved, but Robert Saleh was asked, do you believe Duane Brown is one of your best five offensive linemen? He said yes. So clearly, with having your best five offensive linemen on the field and Duane Brown being one of those five, and he only plays left tackle, it sounds like he's going to be moving over to that spot. So I want to take a little bit of a look. This year so far, Mekhi Becton has played 5 games at left tackle. Brown played 2 games. Each of them allowed 1 sack per game, basically, is what it wound up being. Becton has allowed 16 pressures. He had 6 pressures at right tackle. That's in addition. So he has 22 pressures total given up on the season. But I wanted to kind of compare just the left-hand side there. And then Brown had given up 8 pressures over the course of his 2 games. So on a, if you're doing a percentage base, I guess Becton did a little bit better in terms of pressures, but sacks are still going to be a concern. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I would really like to see Becton stay at left tackle because that's where I would ideally want to re-sign him to. And I want to see him, protect Zach's blind side. I don't want to jack up the whole offensive line. But at the same time, what Robert Saleh is kind of getting at is, hey, if Becton, who's already played right tackle, goes back to right tackle and Duane plays left tackle, that might be better than training someone else at a new position over there or sliding other people around. And I get it. It makes a lot of sense to do that. If I'm Becton, I'm getting a little frustrated. I'm not going to lie, and there's nothing you can do at this point. You're not getting traded. You'd have to play it out the rest of the season anyway. But I like Mekhi Becton on the left-hand side more so than the right-hand side. Now, is the sum better without Max Mitchell on the field on the right-hand side and whatever? There's a whole lot of different arguments you can get into. I think that with Brown coming back, I mean, he's going to have to show out because if he starts to kind of falter or doesn't look good, maybe it is the health that we were kind of, maybe we rushed him back. That's one of the other things Robert Saleh brought up today. I don't know. I'm at this weird junction where I really would like to, figure out what Mekhi Becton's worth. And having him on the right-hand side to some extent sort of diminishes that for me. But from Mekhi's point of view, maybe he's okay sliding back and forth and saying, hey, look, I am incredibly valuable because I can flip back and forth. I have that versatility that someone like Duane Brown does not possess. So there's a little bit going on there. I don't know. When I look at Mekhi Becton and I see where we could be heading in the future, it feels like if you had asked me before the season, Mekhi Becton would be the franchise tag player. It's, he stays healthy for a season. Okay, do it one more year and then you'll get the big contract at the other end of this. Now, I still sort of feel that way, but with the emergence more so of Bryce Huff on the defensive side, and we heard a little bit from Joe Douglas that there's been some informal talks with Bryce Huff and trying to possibly work on an extension there. Both those guys are going to be up for free agency in the offseason, and you're going to have to decide between an elite edge rusher that has proven production at a premium position and Mekhi Becton, who has astronomical sky-high expectations and potential, but the health is still a concern. I'm hoping the Jets can work out some type of 3-year Band-Aid contract or even a 2-year Band-Aid contract with Bryce Huff where at least you feel comfortable having him come back. And then with Mekhi Becton, ideally, I would like to give him the transition tag. I think the Jets should go to Mekhi and say, hey, look, we like you a lot, Mekhi. We want you on this team long term. We're not sure what your value is, across the board, in terms of league. We want you to go out and find the best contract you could possibly find, because with the transition tag, we get the right of first refusal. So you can allow some other team to dictate his value, just like the Ravens attempted to do with Lamar Jackson, where you have Lamar Jackson with this injury history. Who's going to, sign him to the crazy contract that he's demanding? It's the same sort of situation, with the exception of one being a quarterback with a franchise tag that you would have had to give up the 2 first-round picks if you signed him to the contract. With Mekhi Becton, if you were to do the transition tag, the Jets would not receive any compensation if we don't match the picks or match the contract that is offered by another team. But at the very least, you know what he's worth. So if he gets this massive contract and you feel like that's a little too rich and you can't do it, maybe you wind up going after Aaron Rodgers, former left tackle, and David Bakhtiari, who's likely going to be cut at the end of the season, does have some injury concerns just like a Mekhi Becton, but would probably come a lot cheaper in terms of a longer-term commitment, depending on what Becton winds up getting. So there's a few different options for the Jets, like when I think like further out, but in the immediacy, like I wanted to see Becton at left tackle. If he has to play right tackle and Brown is going to ball out at left tackle and we actually have some sort of time for Zach Wilson to throw and Breece Hall can actually run wild, that is ultimately what all fans want to see. So I don't particularly care which direction we go in terms of left tackle, right tackle. It sounds a hell of a lot like Becton's going to be playing right tackle again. I don't know. Let me know in the comments section down below. What do you think of Becton sliding back over to the right-hand side? Do you want him to stay on the left-hand side? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, go Jets. Jets!